Good evening friends, you are most welcome to Think Eyes channel. Today we are going to discuss Ghatnachakra Current Affairs 2023. Here we will discuss 1 year's current affairs for the preparation of UPSC UPPSC MPPSC BPSC CGPSC UKPSC RAS APFC EPFO and other state PCS examinations. Let us begin the topic. Our topic is G7 Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment PGII. On June 27, 2022, the G7 countries who met at Leaders Summit in Germany have officially launched the Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment (PGII). It is a joint initiative to fund infrastructure projects in developing countries. The project is being seen as the bloc's counter to China Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) project. Group of 7 leaders pledged to raise $600 billion in the private and public funds over 5 years to finance needed infrastructure in developing countries. Let us discuss about the project. The infrastructure plan was first announced in June 2021 during G7 summit in the UK, United Kingdom. Back then, US President Joe Biden had called it the Build Back Better World B3W framework. The stated purpose of the PGII is to help secure funding for countries to build critical infrastructure such as roads, ports, bridges, communication setup, etc. to enhance global trade and cooperation. Our next heading is 14th BRICS Summit 2022. The 14th BRICS Summit took place between 23rd to 24th June 2022. The conference convened under the chairmanship of the China. It was the third hosting of the China. First was in 2011 and another was in 2017. Theme: Foster High Quality BRICS Partnership, usher in a new era for global development. Noted that India hosted the 13th BRICS Summit on his chairmanship in 9 September 2021. It also hosted the BRICS Summit in 2012 and 2016. BRICS Plus Virtual Conference. This was the part of the summit and attended by ministers from countries like United Arab Emirates (UAE), Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Kazakhstan, Indonesia, Argentina, Nigeria, Senegal and Thailand. Key highlights of the summit: adopting Beijing Declaration. The declaration was based on making instruments of the global governance more inclusive, representative and participatory. Let us discuss about the BRICS. The term BRIC was coined by Jim O'Neill, the then chairman of the Goldman Sachs, in 2001. In 2010, South Africa formally joined the association, making the BRICS an acronym for 5 emerging economies of the world, with Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. The leaders of the BRIC countries met for the first time in St. Petersburg, Russia, on the margins of G8 Outreach Summit. After a series of high-level meetings, the first BRICS Summit was held in Yekaterinburg, Russia on June 16, 2009. It represents 41% of the global population, 24% of the global GDP, and 16% of the global trade. Chairmanship of the forum is rotated annually among the members in accordance with the acronym BRICS. Stockholm Plus 50. June 2022 marks the 50 years since the first United Nations Conference on Human Environment took place, the 1972 Stockholm Conference. Stockholm Plus 50 type United Nations High Level Conference, date 2nd and 3rd June 2022. Place Stockholm, Sweden, co-hosted by Sweden and Kenya. The International Climate and Environment Week held between 30 May to 5th June 2022. Objective of the meeting, theme of the conference: a healthy planet for the prosperity of all, our responsibility, our opportunity. The aim was to contribute to accelerate a transformation that leads to sustainable and green economies, more jobs and a healthy planet for all, where no one is left behind. Adopted Declaration, Stockholm Declaration and Action Plan for the Human Environment. Report submitted by Stockholm Environment Institute and the Council of the Energy and Environment and Water (CEEW). The Stockholm Environment Institute and the Council on Energy, Environment and Water (CEEW). The 1972 Stockholm Conference. It was the first UN conference on the environment and was held between 5th to 16 June 1972 in Stockholm. The meeting then adopted the Stockholm Declaration, included several principles that are still important for environmental management. Another result of the meeting was the establishment of the United Nations Environment Programme UNEP and the World Environment Day held annually on 5th June. Next heading is China's bridge on Pangong Tso. About Pangong Tso, length 135 km long landlocked lake located at an altitude over 14,000 feet, that is 4,315 meters above the sea level. Eastern end of the Pangong Tso lies in Tibet. Basin character, kind of endorheic basin, which implies that it retains its water and does not allow outflow of its water to other external water bodies such as ocean and river. Unique feature, one of the highest altitude lakes in the world that is filled with saline water. Even though it is a saline water lake, Pangong Tso freezes completely. Pangong Tso is popular for its changing color ability. Under Indian control, India has around 45 km of Pangong Tso under his control, while approximately 60% of the lake in terms of length lies in the Aksai Chin area. Key points about the bridge. Bridge construction site is just east of the Khornak Fort, where China has major frontier defense bases. China calls it Rutong country. The bridge is being built in territory that is under China's control since 1958. Thank you very much.